Alarm bells in the palace, could they be ringing?
Could be serious.
Crown and out.
It's a brutal blow for him.
The king loves being king.
The monarchy in crisis.
Kate being conspicuously absent, and with each passing day, the mystery surrounding her condition is deepening.
Coming up on 60 Minutes.
Why are they not telling us?
Is the palace concealing the truth
The effort to keep the details secret is incredible.
about the princess in hiding and our sick king?
He's hopefully will be okay. If he's not, no, I don't want to say that because you'll run with it.
By all means, share.
It's not what we commoners expect to see. The royal family in disarray, they seem incapable of escaping. Yet, that's the reality of the past few weeks. With King Charles largely out of action as he receives treatment for cancer, the firm is floundering. How, for example, did a simple photograph of a supposedly happy Princess Catherine and her children turn into a worldwide photoshopping scandal? That PR fiasco must surely go down as one of the palace's greatest stuff-ups. So, what's really going on? And is there a royal competent enough to restore the shine to the crown? If there's one thing the British monarchy likes to get right, it's detail. Glorious detail. A prime example being the coronation of King Charles.
Toes, yours are together on that one.
Yes.
And then I just need you to come back a fraction this way towards me to there. Brilliant. And so can you get your that foot on that one? I love it. I love it.
Behind the scenes, from photos of the King and Queen to the preparation of royal robes.
Kids are very good, yes. Oh, look. Splendid.
Excruciating, exacting planning left nothing to chance.
Wasn't it that side?
Your left side?
It is normally the left side.
Normally left side?
Do that again.
Your left cheek is better.
For the palace, certainty is everything. But right now, there's precious little of that to go around.
God save the king!
I, William, Prince of Wales, pledge my loyalty to you as your liege man of life and limb. So help me God.
Just 18 months in, the reign of King Charles is mired in crisis.
What's plan B?
I don't think there's a great deal of long-term planning going on when there's so much what-if going on.
From the King's health battle to the mystery surrounding the Princess of Wales.
The whole nation is now asking the question, where is Kate?
Disaster. Wait, there's a lot to unpack there.
There is.
His slimmed-down monarchy is coming apart at the seams.
Why all the secrecy around Kate?
There is no secrecy around her. I know there are all sorts of rumours floating around, and I mean, some are just beyond bizarre.
A combination of palace missteps, family feuds, and sheer exhaustion conspiring to take the gloss off this new royal era.
The palace is really struggling, and so the future is very uncertain, and some people are assuming the worst, and that, you know, William may actually come to the throne far quicker than anyone had imagined.
It had all been going so well until a routine prostate operation on the king in late January. As the 75-year-old left hospital with Queen Camilla, there was no hint of the bombshell to come. Surgeons had found cancer. Even now, 6 weeks on, what type and where remains shrouded in secrecy.
Well, Christina, it's hard to imagine a London where King Charles isn't out and about.
I have to say, Adam, it would be really hard to imagine that because he does like getting out and about and meeting the public.
If anyone has an insight into how King Charles might be coping, it's Christina Kyriakou. From 2009 to 2017, she was his communications secretary, a key advisor at the heart of the then prince's inner sanctum.
The King's got quite the battle ahead of him.
I agree. I think it's like any person receiving a cancer diagnosis. Initially, there's shock, and then you want to find out everything. So he does have a battle ahead of him, but no matter what, he will still be performing his duties.
There will be no public engagements for quite some time, but if anything, the king appears to have been speeding up rather than slowing down.
In recent weeks, I have been most deeply touched by your wonderfully kind and thoughtful good wishes for my health, and in return, can only continue to serve you to the best of my ability throughout the Commonwealth.
Recently, we've seen a whirlwind of meetings with politicians and heads of state, punctuated by weekly visits to the hospital for treatment.
It's wonderful to see you looking so well.
No, it's all done by mirrors.
Well, we're all behind you. The country is behind you.
The king might have cancer, but to Christina Kyriakou, he seems pretty unfazed about it all.
You know, he's keeping his humour, and that makes me feel optimistic. This is a man that no matter what he's done it to the nth degree. So the fight for his diagnosis, I feel like he'll be attacking it with as much zeal as everything else.
King Charles's cancer was discovered by chance here at the London clinic as surgeons carried out an operation to treat an enlarged prostate. This is also where the Princess of Wales spent nearly 2 weeks recovering from abdominal surgery. While Charles has been out and about, Kate has been conspicuously absent from the public gaze. And with each passing day, the mystery surrounding her condition is deepening.
The secrecy surrounding Kate is fascinating. In fact, I'm convinced that the only reason we were told that King Charles had this prostate problem was to deflect attention from what's going on with Kate, because I suspect it's much more serious.
Tom Quinn is a well-connected royal author who delves deeply into the secret workings of the monarchy. He thinks it's high time we were given some clear direction about the palace goings-on.
Usually with these things, it's much better to be open about it, because if you don't say what's going on, you just invite people to speculate. It's a natural human instinct. We can't help doing it.
Where is Kate Middleton? Where are you, Kate? Some people think she's dead. Some people think she got a BBL.
From a Brazilian butt lift on the Royal Derriere to a haircut gone wrong, speculation has been as ludicrous as it's been exhaustive.
She's in a coma, she's had a facelift.
Until now, a long-lens paparazzi shot has given us the only clear view of her since Christmas, other than the now infamous Photoshop fail of Kate and the kids, which, unsurprisingly, fed a frenzy of suspicion.
It has been pulled by 5 major news agencies because they say it was manipulated.
But all it's done is add to these conspiracy theorists.
George, this is all very strange.
Why wouldn't the Princess of Wales come out and say, I'm okay, so we see her?
I think Kate probably would have done that. But remember, one of the big things that Princess Diana hated about being in the royal family, I think Harry too, is the fact that you're not a free agent. You can't move, you can't scratch your ear or brush your teeth unless this vast machine that runs the royal family gives you the okay. You know, and I suspect she would have said, she would have been open about it, but she's probably been advised, look, don't say anything because it will just lead to more speculation. Again, the palace probably getting that wrong, because not saying leads to more speculation. Telling us stops it.
For all the furor, Tom Quinn says more than 3 months off the job is plainly the result of just one thing, a very serious health challenge.
I mean, I suspect it's complications caused by hysterectomy or a benign growth, but, you know, you don't take that much time off if you're not very ill.
Well, the palace says we'll see Kate back soon. Can we believe that?
I think from Easter, she probably will gradually come back into view more publicly. But I suspect it will be quite slow. And the fact that they've tried to swing the attention of the press and the public to King Charles is probably linked to the fact that she's basically said, I'm exhausted. You've seen how thin she is. She's so thin. You know, it's not good.
As for King Charles, Tom thinks that he too is facing a more serious prognosis than perhaps it appears.
Well, I've spoken to someone who knows the family well, and she said, look, I can't give you the exact details, but it is an aggressive cancer. You know, it's not good, it's treatable, but it's aggressive, you know, and everyone is really worried because it's not something that's going to be easy to treat.
So this could be going on either for quite a while or, sadly, not long at all. That's
yeah,
what you're
exactly.
hearing.
The treatment is going to be really, really damaging for Charles. He'll be sick, nausea, there'll be weight loss. You know, it's going to be dramatic.
All of which is taking a toll on the heir to the throne, Prince William. He's been forced to whittle down his public diary to focus on his wife and father and stay home to look after the kids, while also, according to Tom Quinn, being at the centre of rapidly accelerated succession planning.
I've been assured that already succession planning is taking place, and originally, up until this diagnosis, the idea was, OK, we've got at least 5 years till, you know, King Charles is roughly 80, before we have to start thinking about preparing William to take over.
So you put the stall over.
So at the moment, you've got Prince William trying to care for his father who has cancer, but then also being trained to take the throne.
I think you can see in recent film and pictures of William, you can see the stress because first, your father may be gravely ill or become gravely ill, may even die. But then you've got, yikes, I'm going to be king. What does that involve? So, you know, he's going to have to get up to speed in the next few years.
Already trimmed back to just 10 working royals, and with 2 of the leading lights out of action, the strain on those who remain is showing. As you'll see, it all begs the question, is there anyone spare who might be called on in the family's time of need?
The fact that some people might want Harry back is neither here nor there. Some people have appalling taste and no judgment.
You don't hold back, do you?
I'm trying to avoid telling you what I think. I'm trying to be discreet.
It's not every day you get invited to a castle, but when you're meeting up with British aristocracy, a certain quality of residence is to be expected.
Lady C, hello.
Greetings, welcome to Castle Goring.
Thank you, thank you.
Do come, do come.
Showing me around her palatial home is Lady Colin Campbell, better known as Lady C.
Well, this is Queen Victoria's boudoir.
She's a colourful socialite and best-selling royal author.
So, this is the state dining room.
Who prides herself in very much keeping a finger on the blue blood of the royal pulse.
Seats up to 26 comfortably.
Who have you hosted here in your time?
Can't mention their names, but you will know of some of them.
With all that's been happening around King Charles, there's hardly been a more productive time for dining table discourse.
This is a king who waited decades and decades to be king. It's a brutal blow for him. What would he be thinking right now?
Life is unfair. Life can be cruel.
Anything could happen.
Yes, of course anything could happen. He could die. But if they've caught something early and it's treatable, which it is, he's hopefully going to be all right. So everybody's optimistic and we just wait and see. There's nothing we can do except wait and see, is there?
As for the Princess of Wales, Lady C believes there's nothing secretive going on. Just the appropriate respect for the privacy that would and should be shown to any patient.
I mean, why would she be expected to give any more information? Would you ask your mother or aunt or grandmother or sister to, oh, come on, you know, share it with the neighbours? And I mean, I'm afraid that's not how people function. And let's remember, we are dealing with people.
Why all the secrecy around Kate?
There is no secrecy around her. They have said what was wrong with her, and they have said how long it's going to take. There is no secrecy around her. I know there are all sorts of rumours floating around, and I mean, some are just beyond bizarre. But Catherine will certainly be up and about in the not too distant future.
Are we sure about that?
I'm pretty sure about that.
How can we be sure about that?
You may not be sure about it, but I'm sure about it.
She's a very popular key royal, though. She leaves quite the hole in the royal family when she's not seen by the public.
She certainly does, but then that's what happens when you're the star of a show.
The current health crisis has certainly revealed one thing above all else: the fragility of a working royal family that has been reduced to the barest of bones.
I've been saying for 25 years that the king was absolutely wrong and that a slimmed-down monarchy would be an absolute disaster. And I think that they are at a crossroads and it's crunch time and they need to get their act together and they need to rectify the error of having slimmed down too much.
Well, I don't hear alarm bells in the palace, Robert, but could they be ringing?
They are not ringing yet. Business as usual is a phrase I keep hearing. That and the Churchillian phrase, wartime adage, KBO, keep buggering on.
Amid all the conjecture about the unfolding challenges, royal biographer Robert Hardman is a voice of reassurance. He spent a year in the shadow of King Charles as he chronicled his ascendancy to the throne.
I think Easter's quite a key kind of turning point for the monarchy. I think that's when there'll be a kind of reset and we'll sort of see where things go from here.
Well, to borrow a sporting analogy, who's in reserves? Who's Team B? Who's stepping up to the plate?
Obviously, the big burden falls on William as heir to the throne. He's got his own issues, obviously, because he's got his wife ill at home. He's looking after the kids. I think what we've seen a lot of is Queen Camilla and the Princess Royal. They've really stepped forward. They're doing a lot of stuff. You've still got the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. And you've got the Queen's cousins, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester. Yeah, if you look back to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you see this sort of extended family, you think, well, there's plenty of people there to help out. Now it's looking rather leaner, but that's the way it is.
The drawback of the B team is that both star power and youth are non-existent. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Edward and Sophie, are 60, Princess Anne, 73, and the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester are approaching their 80s.
Obviously, there's another member of the family who's completely out of action, Prince Andrew. There's no way that he, no matter how bad things get, I don't think there's any appetite to bring him back into public life. He's out in a sort of internal exile, if you like.
One thing that King Charles' diagnosis did achieve, of course, is a visit from Prince Harry, as fleeting as it may have been. If the Sussexes are hoping for some sort of reconciliation, Lady C rates their chances as a big fat 0.
We love family, just not our own. Oh, we love public service, but please pay for it. I mean, anybody who's duped by them really deserves an idiot's crown.
You look around your castle here, there are portraits of monarchs past. Do you sit here and look at the current royal family and fear what's about to come?
Good question. I think the royal family needs to make it more apparent to the public, the young public, that they are relevant and that they serve a purpose.
It can be difficult to stay relevant if you don't see them.
I couldn't agree more.
Ultimately, if it weren't for all the dramas and calamities, thank you very much. Author Tom Quinn believes we may have lost interest a long time ago. So Tom, what do you reckon the average person thinks about this royal crisis?
Oh, they love it. It's a soap opera. You know, how could they resist it? All the fights. Now, it's brilliant for the average person. Brilliant.
Like so many crises before, Tom reckons the palace will once again muddle through. But what might just emerge is a royal family that looks and works a little different to how it does today.
So I think the future of the monarchy will not just be slimmed down, it'll certainly be that. You know, they're just not going to work as hard. William wants to be a good father. He wants to spend time with his wife and children. He doesn't want to be this kind of machine, because really, you know, Elizabeth II was like a machine. Everything she did was about duty, duty, duty. Almost to the point of being obsessive compulsive. Charles and William, they want a different kind of life, which may be good for the monarchy, unless people begin to say, well, they're not doing very much, maybe we should get rid of them, which is always possible.
Well, cheers to the King's health, mate.
Yep, cheers to the King's health.
Hello, I'm Adam Hegarty. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.